Guys, big breaking news coming out. Russia tests new nuclear-powered cruise missile. Now, the president claims it is invisible to defenses with an almost unlimited range and unpredictable flight path. This was tested today. We're going to see what's going on here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. Thank you so much for that, guys. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor. Please pray for the people in Jamaica, in Cuba, Haiti, and Dominican Republic. Melissa is now a Category 4, 140 miles per hour. Now, meteorologists and National Hurricane Center are sounding the alarm that possibly tonight the storm could hit Category 5. All right, so there is shelters open in Jamaica. Please pray for them, and I'm gonna keep you updated. Check out the videos I posted today. The links will be in the description, in the comments box, and make sure you follow me over on my third channel, Prepper Watch News. And if you guys have a TikTok account, follow me on TikTok. All right, Prepper Watch News TikTok. If you guys want to check out all my videos, here you go. All right, so Prepper Watch News on TikTok. All right, so far, you know, we're growing little by little, and yeah, so we have some videos, and I guess this is one of the big ones, almost 2,000 views. NASA emergency alert. All right, but yeah, make sure you follow me on TikTok. All the information will be in the comments box and also description box. All right, so Russia has successfully tested its nuclear-powered, Bromvensnik, I think that's how you pronounce it, cruise missile, said Putin on Sunday, media reported. They got nukes pointed at us, and now they test firing nuclear stuff. Not looking good. All right, so once again, Putin said on Sunday, media reported, citing that the Bear media, Russian media, data. Once again, the Red Dragon, military affairs experts said that the missile's extraordinary range carries major strategic implications. Putin said early Sunday today, October 26, that Russia has successfully carried out a test of its nuclear-powered intercontinental cruise missile Bromvensnik, according to the Moscow Times. Ever since Donald slapped sanctions, now the Bear is testing their nukes. I mean, that's why I gotta say, why, Donald? Why? Why you gotta slap sanctions? Why you have to stick your nose in their business? Why, Donald? Now we got this thing here. So by slapping sanctions, it will possibly bring them to the round table for a ceasefire. Nope, made it worse. Now we got nukes pointed at us, and they testing nuclear cruise missiles. The Bear chief of the general staff told the leader, Putin, the test took place on Tuesday, with the range flying 14,000 kilometers, that's 8,700 miles, over the course of about 15 hours. So it happened Tuesday, but we are getting the information today. It is truly a unique weapon. And I truly apologize. At the very beginning, I said that the test was today. I truly apologize. I take that back, guys. I just refreshed the page, and all these new updates is coming out. So it is truly a unique weapon. One that no other country in the world possesses. Putin was quoted by the Moscow Times as saying, according to data released by the Russian media, this cruise missile range is very large. It can surpass the range of most operational cruise missiles, which is quite remarkable. Wang, chief editor of Aerospace Knowledge magazine, told Global Times on Sunday. Now, it says here, but we currently know very little about the missile's technical configuration. its actual capability still need to be confirmed with more experimental details and other information, Wang said. Besides that, Wang warned of risk of nuclear contamination from potential malfunctions or interception. However, Wang still affirmed that the strategic significance of the Borovnik. Traditionally, such missions were carried out by strategic bombers to maintain global deterrence. But if a missile alone can patrol tens of thousands of kilometers, striking anywhere or choosing not to strike at all, it becomes a new form of deterrence. Now, for Russia, given its current geopolitical position, that significance is particularly profound and explain its push for such next generation weapons, Wang said. Now, this weapon, whose name translates as Storm Petrel, is a ground launched, low flying cruise missile that is not only capable of carrying a nuclear warhead, but it's also nuclear powered. Putin first revealed the project in March 2018, Reuters reported in October 2023. That is where we at right now, guys. I mean, Putin is not bluffing. And we talked about this. Zelensky and Donald had this idea. Maybe we should slap him with sanctions. And maybe we should fire Tomahawk. And that will make him wave the white flag and bring him to the round table and ceasefire. Unbelievable. Now we have this here. So Donald, again, it's a possibility. Donald's like, I kind of screwed up. And now I'm stuck in this. I feel like Donald, he was listening to all these people surrounding him. Donald, you should do it. You're the man. You stop 7 wars. You could do this one. You would go down the history book. You'll be legendary. You will surpass King David. People will remember you. And, you know, all that talk and stuff like that, it possibly got to him. So its nuclear propulsion gives the missile much longer range than traditional turbojet or turbofan engines that are limited by how much fuel they can carry, Reuters said. Now, citing a specialist, the Bear Military Journal in 2021, Reuters said that the Borovnik would have a notional range of up to 20,000 kilometers. So it could be based anywhere in Russia and strike targets in the U.S. I need to highlight that. That's very important here. So Putin is testing stuff that could reach the sleeping giant. And I did post a video yesterday. They have a nuke that's pointed at the sleeping giant. And the reason why, because they know that we have a commander-in-chief. And the commander-in-chief we have is not afraid to push button. And Putin knows that. So Putin take this serious. And what happened to Iran and those nuclear facilities with the bunker busters? Yeah, Putin is not taking no chance. So the same journal said that the national altitude of the missile was just 50 or 100 meters, much lower than a conventionally powered cruise missile, which will make it harder for air defense radar to detect. Song Zhongping, a Chinese military affairs expert, told the Global Times that the Borovnik is a non-traditional weapon system. The Borovnik nuclear propulsion theoretically allows unlimited range in that sense. It's the first of its kind in the world, Song said. Now, Song added that unlike conventional cruise missiles powered by chemical propellants, the Borovnik uses a nuclear propulsion system. This allows for rapid penetration of enemy defenses. It's a strategic equipment with considerable deterrent power, one that could alter the balance of global nuclear forces to a large extent. What are your thoughts on this one here, guys? Give me a second here. I want to bring something up really quick. Newsweek is also putting out some of the information here. So Putin has held the country's unique nuclear-powered cruise nuclear missile, after the military carried out new tests of the long-range missile and several of Moscow's most destructive equipments. Once again, the Bombenschnecke, also known by its NATO moniker, the SSC X9 Skyfall. Skyfall. I was just listening to that song. Skyfall is a ground-launched nuclear-powered cruise missile. It was first unveiled by Putin in March 2018. We already know that. Give me a second here. The host of the next-generation weapon, including the so-called Doomsday, the Doomsday device, Poseidon, a nuclear-powered, nuclear-tipped torpedo. Russia claims that this equipment has a range long enough to strike the U.S. and is able to dodge Western air defenses. I gotta get my coffee. I haven't had time to purchase my coffee. I just had a Gatorade in the fridge. Alright, so... That's all I gotta say. Shake my head. Donald. Alright, so ever since Donald canceled the meeting in Budapest, it's not good. The missile is a unique product unlike anything else in the world, Putin said in remarks reported by state media on Sunday. These are the type of information that people need to be aware of. And trust me, a lot of preppers, they're reading this stuff right now. So, Valerie, the Bear most senior general, told Putin that the equipment had covered roughly 14,000 kilometers or 8,700 miles in 15 hours test flight on October 21st. This is not the limit. So a U.S. military intelligence assessment from 2020 described this equipment as giving Russia a unique equipment with intercontinental range capability, although some Western analysts have been skeptical of the missile true capabilities. So the Kremlin said on October 22nd that Vladimir had supervised a host of strategic nuclear tests of sea, air, and ground-launched weapons, but did not mention of this equipment. Now, the Bear tested a Yars intercontinental ballistic and a Saniva submarine-launched ballistic missile, while a strategic bomber aircraft launched unspecified cruise missiles, according to the Gov readout. The test came as the U.S. imposed a raft of sanctions on the Bear after many months of drawn-out negotiations over Ukraine with little progress, much to the overt frustration of the U.S. commander. Now it says here the right had long resisted slapping Moscow with sanctions designed to hinder the Bear ability to wage war in Ukraine. Donald, you say you was not going to get us involved, man. You said it's not our biblical war. I don't know what happened. You had to change your heart. I don't know if someone just whispered in your ear and you kind of fell for it. But you told us that you was going to end in 24 hours, that you was not going to drag us into this. And look, I'm not trying to bash the Donald here. I'm not trying to bash the Donald. And I'm not trying to start anything here. But Donald should call Joe and apologize to him about these biblical war that he went after and said, you know, again, sending equipments and all that and slapping sanctions. You're going to drag us to WWE3. Donald is doing the same thing what Joe has been doing for the past, since 2021, this war operation in Ukraine. So, again, Donald is following the same footstep. The same footstep. Like I said, I'm not trying to start nothing here, but again, like I said, I'm not afraid to say what I got to say and speak the truth. I was never a big supporter of this biblical war. I don't care if it's Donald or Joe, left or right or independents. If they support this war, I'm not down with them. Because, again, as a Christian, we don't support biblical wars. We pray for peace. All right, we pray that, again, many, many innocents are being taken out. The White House has prepared additional sanctions against the bear to be used if the biblical war in Eastern Europe continues to drag on. Reuters reported on Saturday, citing a U.S. official and another person familiar with the matter. The news agency reported in mid-August that the bear was likely preparing another test, another of the equipment tests. All right, so they're not done with it. All right, so the rest is basically talking about all that type of stuff from 2016. We already know that. But yeah, this is where we are right now. All right, so they test something that could reach the U.S. I believe this is a message. They are sending a message. They are sending a strong message. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Till next time later. Peace.